Make sure that it's actually live. It says it's live, but it says it's offline at the same time. It's a good dynamic. It's like the yin and the yang. Aha. All right, we're good. Can I play an ad? I can play an ad. How does that work? What does it do? brand new things. I'm learning. I'm learning how to stream. All right, I'm back. Ah, I see. Okay, so if I play an ad, then it kind of blanks it out just for a second, and while people are seeing. All right. Well, I have to get started right away. I can't even wait for people to get in here because this is going to do the DVR feature where it just records everything. So, welcome. Welcome. It's a little odd saying welcome when there's nobody, when there's like one person watching. So, welcome, everybody. If you're watching this after the fact on YouTube, thank you very much for stopping by. I have a series of videos so far. There are 2 of them so far that are diving into certain elements of the Mandela Effect and also just the overall psyche of a lot of people that I talk to. Not to categorize them, just the way that I think that people can look at things a little bit more positively, and we can just get to the bottom of it. Get to the bottom of what's going on here. Of course, it's very hard to prove things, so there has to be a bit of positivity. Because when you get negative, you just start. I think you start looking for things in fear, and when you look for things in fear, that's when things just turn bad. Try to lash out and stuff. Forgotten, what's up, Forgotten? How you doing? Welcome to the chat. By the way, as before, Daniel Rosendorm, what is up? As before, I'm going to have people's responses and things on the screen. I think it's very important that we have that, because I want this to be a living conversation. I don't want this to be like, it's my opinion, and this is my opinion, and these are the facts that I got, and nobody can chime in and say, hey, well, I read this, or hey, I'm on the internet over here researching this, and it doesn't say exactly what you're saying or something. That way, it's not just one person's research. That way, it's the research of a lot of different people. That way, it's the opinions of a lot of different people, and we have a living conversation. It's not just a one-sided thing. So, thank you guys for being here. Dre, what's up, Dre? What is up, River Whistle? Thank you guys very much for being here. Very, very awesome stuff. As you can see, I have a quite dramatic background going on because, well, I will be explaining why. I'll be explaining why. It's not like doomsday type stuff, but, it can be construed that way. So thank you guys very much for being here. I brought my Kylo Ren cup again. I think it matches perfectly with this background, so it's important. It's important that you have a color scheme. QZ Black, what's up, man? What did your name used to be, QZ Black? I just now started seeing your comments show up, but I recall you having a different name before. Maybe that was on the other planet. Maybe that was on the first Earth. Maybe it's the first Earth. Love in the background. Jan, what's up? Yeah, we are kind of early, aren't we? Kind of early. I just couldn't sleep anymore. I got like a great amount of sleep yesterday. I guess my body just needed it or something. I really just needed to sleep. So I called it a day. I was like, man, I'm just gonna sleep. Oh, QZ Mosley. Okay, I see. Well, that makes sense. All right, so thank you to everybody who's joined. I'm going to get into this. The first thing I have to show you guys that I think will preface a lot of this is this particular video here. It's QZ Black on YouTube. Oh, I see. Well, thanks for being here. And Marghetto's here too. What is up, man? I won't be on chat, but I'm watching on my TV screen. All right, Marghetto. Well, if you have something that you want to say, go ahead and chime in, man. Highly appreciate all you guys being here. So, as I said, the first thing I want to touch on here, and something that I think will be really good way to preface the theory that I have, just one of the theories, because this is going to be an ongoing series of conversations and videos and stuff. It's gotten a lot of good attention on YouTube and everything. Yesterday, well, not yesterday, but my last broadcast, remember I told you guys, hey, this video has 700 views. That's a lot more views than I normally get on like a regular video. Well, now it has 2,000 views. So it's like, I think that there are a lot of people reaching out for answers and who want to not feel alone in seeing these changes and things. And if I can help people to do that, like that's just icing on the cake to me, because I get to talk to you guys about this. I get to do my research. I get to do all this stuff, and on top of it, I'm helping people to not feel so alone when it comes to just wondering what the heck is going on and trying to find answers. So why not, you know? So let's start here. This is a CBS broadcast. Okay, this is a CBS broadcast. It's not like some, and I don't want to give them too much credit, because news, news is news, and they're controlled by certain outlets. But sometimes they report on things before they really think about what they're doing. And this is I'm going to show you guys the full thing. I'm going to give you a little bit of my commentary, so please tell me if it's too loud and you guys can't hear me, because I'm going to be telling you at the same time. Let me move this down a little bit, actually. Move it down here. That way you guys' comments will still show up on top of it. Yeah, like right there. All right, so if you guys are ready for this, let me know. CJ is here too. What's up, CJ? Welcome. So just let me know if it's too loud, guys.
It's been almost 10 years since little Pluto was demoted from being a planet, but today scientists from the California Institute of Technology have announced that they finally have solid evidence for a planet X, a true ninth planet on the edge of our solar system.
While the ninth planet has not
officially or
technically been spotted yet, it is believed to be far beyond the orbit of Pluto, roughly the size of Neptune, with a mass 10 times that of Earth.
Staff writer for the Scientific American, Michael Lemonick, has written an article in the upcoming issue and is here to tell us more about this incredible discovery. Hi, Michael.
Hi.
So how did this discovery come about?
It came about because there are things out there, little icy objects that are orbiting in a funny way, and nobody was quite sure why. It seemed like there might be something with gravity pulling on them, but nobody quite understood. And finally, these scientists that you talked about took a really hard look at it, did simulations, calculations, and they came up with the explanation. It probably is this giant planet.
I think I read somewhere it orbits the sun every 10,000 to 20,000 years.
Right.
Is that why no one has seen it to this point?
No, that's not why. It's because it's so dim. It's so far away that even though it's big, it's very, very dim, and it'd be very tough to spot with a telescope.
I'm also fascinated at the idea that this planet could be so far out there and still our sun be the mass that is keeping it in the gravitational pull of our solar system.
Right, yeah, but no, it's true.
That's incredible. And so there was a thought at one point from scientists that when they thought that there was something beyond Pluto, that it might have been all the massive objects floating in the Kuiper Belt, but it's not.
Right, so all those objects are out there and they have a lot of mass, and originally the scientists said, look, a planet is such a crazy idea, maybe it's the Kuiper Belt itself that's pulling it on itself and making these orbits look funny. And they ran simulations and they tried to make that work, and it didn't work. It just didn't work. There's not enough stuff out there.
What does this tell us about our solar system?
Well, one thing it tells us is that we don't really understand it as well as we thought we did.
If you heard what he just said, he said that scientists were trying to figure out why all of a sudden none of their equations were working when it came to figuring out why the planets were doing what they were doing in their orbit. Like basically for years and years and years, scientists had our solar system figured out. They knew where we were going to be. They knew where Neptune was going to be, Pluto. They knew where everything was going to be in the scheme of things, in the rotations around the sun. They knew it. They had it down. And then all of a sudden, their equations stopped working. Just like how all of a sudden we're like, hey, what the heck? It's not the neighborhood. It's not Oscar Mayer. It's not Oscar Mayer. What's going on here? It's not Berenstain Bears. Like, just like us having these changes that seem somewhat rudimentary, but they still matter to us. The scientists started having the same problems. They were like, wait a minute, that's not supposed to be there. What happened? So just like how we are going over the internet, some people are. They're going all over the internet looking for answers of like, was it always Mayer? Was it always Berenstain Bears? Scientists started trying to figure it out on a mathematical level. They were like, okay, that doesn't make sense. Why is this planet doing this? Why is it not rotating around the sun in the way that it's supposed to? They're looking for answers. So what they did is they decided, okay, well, if we can't explain it with just looking at the solar system, how about we figure out what else could be causing this? And so they looked and they made a theory that maybe there's another planet out there in our solar system that we just can't see because it's so dim. We just cannot see the planet that's out there. So what they did is they plugged a theoretical planet into their equations. A planet that would have 5 times the mass of Earth and would just be in our solar system, but we just can't see it. And they plugged this into their equations, and all of a sudden, everything worked just fine. All of a sudden, they could figure out where planets are going to be at. All of a sudden, everything was fixed again. All of a sudden, they could know where we're going to be at, when we're going to be there, all that stuff. All the stuff that was going awry with our orbits and stuff was fine because they plugged this theoretical planet into the equation, and all of a sudden, it was fine. So that's what they're talking about. They're talking about the fact that they think they found a 9th planet, they just can't see it. So let's move on. Oh, of course. Of course. You see this? This is what happens when you start messing with stuff. They start trying to shut you down. An error occurred. It was just working. Oh, I gotta play Overwatch, though. The Overwatch ad can work.
Overwatch. Play it free on consoles.
Overwatch, by the way, guys. Overwatch. I'm gonna be playing that.
It's been almost 10 years since little Pluto.
Alright, let's go for it. I think I was like right here.
And so there was a thought at one point from scientists that when they thought that there was something beyond Pluto, that it might have been all the massive objects floating in the Kuiper Belt, but it's not.
Right, so all those objects are out there and they have a lot of mass, and originally the scientists said, look, a planet is such a crazy idea, maybe it's the Kuiper Belt itself that's pulling it on itself and making these orbits look funny. And they ran simulations and they tried to make that work, and it didn't work. It just didn't work.
You know too much already.
What does this tell us about our solar system?
Well, one thing it tells us is that we don't really understand it as well as we thought we did. And another is that it had a very violent
I love
beginning.
newscasters.
This thing was probably
I love the newscasters' reactions during this. If you guys watch, and I'm not trying to be like a conspiracy theorist, but I know the art of misdirection. I know I've seen it so many times where there's like a real point that's like, whoa, but they laugh it off and make it seem funny. They ask him this question right here. Just listen to what she asks him, and then watch the reaction after he says something so ridiculous, so profound, so horrifying. Actually, if you really think about it, they just laugh it off. Watch.
And they ran simulations and they tried to make that work, and it didn't work. It just didn't work. There's not enough stuff out there.
What does this tell us about our solar system?
Well, one thing it tells us is that we don't really understand it as well as we thought we did. And another is that it probably had a very violent beginning. This thing was
They just nod and smile. They're talking to a scientist that's telling them there's a planet out there that we can't see, we don't know where it's at, and we don't understand our universe like we thought we did. And they're like, yeah, that's funny. We could be crashing into something right now. They just laugh it off because they know they're on national TV. They gotta make it seem like it's just a whimsical, funny thing. I don't know how whimsical and funny it is that there is something 5 times the size of Earth floating around in our solar system that we can't see. But it's so funny, you know? Yes. There's a book called A Bible that explains how Earth got started, a chapter called Genesis. That's true. That's true. And there were books thousands of years older than that tell the exact same story as well. It's pretty much the creation is pretty much known. That's not what we're here for, though. We're not here about religion, guys. So don't dip into that. Don't dip into that. There will be time for that, but that's how people just get in fights, and it does not get to the bottom of anything. Because honestly, it's the same story over and over again. The story in the Quran, the Torah, the Bible, thousands of years older texts. It's all the same story, guys. It's just called something else. So there's no reason to even discuss it. All right, everybody understands we're here. All right, that's not the point of this. All right, please, no religion, not yet, not yet. We'll get there. We'll get there. Don't worry. Some of this does have to deal with religion, and there's an overall truth that we will be discussing, but it's not really going to have like a religion name to it, because the overall truth is just a message from whatever creator you feel, whatever name you want to put on it. There's an overall truth, but we're not going to deal with that right now. We're talking about the Planet X, all right? The one guy nodding is like, we're all going to die.
Much closer in, and then
don't worry, I'm going to explain a little bit more about this. If you're a little confused about this,
really incredible.
I'm going to lay a little bit
when we talk about the mass
of
this planet X, this ninth planet, being 10 times that of Earth, for those who are not scientists, what does that really mean, the mass of a planet versus Earth's mass?
Well, if you could put it on a scale, how much it would weigh. I mean, that's really it. And so it's bigger,
10
it's
times
bulkier.
that of Earth. Now they're saying 5 times, but this said 10 times at this point.
It's this huge elephant in the living room, except we didn't know it was there.
You mentioned that scientists haven't seen it yet because of how far away it is and how dim it is. Is there a way for them to get visual evidence?
Yes, so the biggest telescopes in the world can theoretically see this thing if they're looking in exactly the right place. And with the publication of this new paper today, they are now going to start to look in earnest.
This is such a fascinating, and again, a lot of scientists believe that by figuring out that there is this ninth planet out there, that will give us even more insight into the birth of our solar system.
Exactly, yeah, to understand what happened in the first 100 million.
By the way, my head is written the way.
And the idea being that if we go with the hypothesis, the theory of the Big Bang Theory, that there was this massive explosion, and these planets were flung out, and you have this ninth planet, and then you have all of our other planets in a row, essentially. How does that work?
Well, so the formation of the sun and all the planets happened long after the Big Bang. It's not really directly related. But the idea is that there was this big cloud of gas and dust just swirling around, and it shrank and condensed and got smaller and smaller. And the center burst into being as the sun, and the stuff around the edges condensed into being the planets. And then the question is, what happened next? Did they crash into each other? Did they fling each other around? And it looks like they probably did.
So that's sort of, I guess, what I'm hammering at. It could be that this explosion was so violent, and then we can't even imagine it, that you have a piece of that, some of those masses that are way, way out there beyond Pluto.
Right. That it's really part of those first few moments and the violence that happened then.
Right, and those closer to the sun happened millions of years, perhaps. I don't know the time frame, but after the planets that are further out.
Well, not really. No. It all happened at the same
time.
time. The thing is that there was little enough material in the inner solar system that Earth and those other planets kind of formed, and that was it. But further out, where there was a lot more gas and a lot more large objects, it got really kind of violent.
Just really quickly, I'm wondering if you can put into perspective for us how much further out there is this planet X than the rest of the planets in the solar system? I mean,
so Pluto we think of as the really out at the very edge, the very farthest thing that you could call a planet, even though we don't anymore. And
I'm still supporting Pluto's right to be a planet.
But this thing is 5 times.
That's what they just said. You just said the same thing as them, Spartan.
Is there any chance it's not a planet?
Spartan still thinks
there's always. It's very foolish to say no chance because you just don't know what you don't know. But the odds are looking very, very good.
60 billion miles from the sun.
Yep.
Now, if you notice,
stuff. Michael Lemonick, thank you so much. Fascinating stuff.
The thing that people, I feel like, oh, that was the end. Okay, cool. Well. That was good timing. I was just about to pause it, so good. All right, so that was a real newscast, all right? They basically outed the whole thing, and there are times where news outlets are going to tell you the truth, but they're gonna try to brush it under the rug or try to make you not afraid about it, because they know that there are amateur astronomers out there. They know there are people who are going to call attention to things that if they don't tell you a little bit of the truth and kind of sensationalize it or make it funny and just kind of brush it off, that people will find out, and then it'll be crazy. They don't want people to go crazy. That guy's face, though. Yeah. Giant magnetic rock floating in space, probably. Probably. Yeah, they said theoretically they could see it from Earth. There are telescopes that could show it. It's far away, but it's not. Um, so, gosh, okay. They always show you that model of the solar system? If I can get through this video to a part where it shows that. Where was it? Here we go. Here we go. I'll just put it on the screen for you real quick, and then shrink this down. All right. So here it's showing the Earth is like really close to the sun, right in the middle here, where my mouse is at. Where my mouse is at, that's the sun. It's pointing to the Earth's orbit around the sun. And then there are planets that orbit around that, planets orbit around that, planets orbit around that. They always show you it on this plane as if like we're all on this flat plane. Like it goes the sun, Mercury, the Earth, everything else. It always shows it like flat, but it's not that way. It's really not. They're just trying to give you a representation of that we're all going around the sun. But the reality of it is that the sun is in the middle. The Earth is rotating around it. Maybe like this. Maybe not even maybe. I'm just telling you. I don't know the exact tilt or anything, but it's going around the sun like this, and then Mercury is going around it in like up here, and like they're all orbiting it, but they're not orbiting it in a straight line. It's not like we're all, or Earth is going around it like this, Mars is going around it like this, Saturn's going around it like this, Neptune's going around it like this. It's not like that. Neptune's going around it like this, Earth's going around it maybe at this angle, and they're all going around it at separate angles, and at the same time the sun is traveling through the galaxy. So we're not, the sun isn't sitting in one spot and we're just going around it. The sun is moving too, because we're in a galaxy, so we're on one of the arms of the galaxy. So the whole thing is spinning. The sun is traveling at thousands of miles per hour, and so are we. We're just being pulled by it. So it's all going around the sun as we're going through the galaxy. So what they're trying to say is that there's this ninth planet, and it's orbiting way further out than Pluto, so it's fine. But the thing is, it's like its orbit is so elliptical. It's not a circle. It's not a perfect circle. It's actually like, it's more like an oval. It just gets to a point where it goes right by the sun and then comes back, right by the sun and then comes back. So its orbit is a long time, but there are times where it's much closer to the sun than any other planet, besides maybe Mercury and maybe us. So it goes way far out, but it comes really close to the sun as well. So it's not just all the way out there and stays all the way out there. The thing is drawn back in by the sun and then catapulted out and drawn back in. So it's not the circular motion. It's got this like catapult type thing that it does. And thinking of this makes my head hurt. Hey man, there's not much to really think about. There's really not much to think about. I just want people to understand that they needed to create or come up with this ninth planet just to prove, just to make it so their theories would work, and so that everything would make sense, because our orbits were not making sense to them all of a sudden. They had everything tucked away. They knew their equations. They knew about the orbits, and everything was good. And then all of a sudden, everything went awry. They didn't know why we have this wobble to our orbit. Why are we over here? What's going on? And then once they plugged in this theoretical ninth planet, everything made sense. So it's most likely out there. This is where I would like to get into my theory on this, and just give you guys a little bit of just one theory. This is not the main theory. This is not the end theory. This is just my current theory on it. My current theory on this. I think that it comes around. They said it's like 15,000 years. I don't think it has a 15,000-year orbit. I think it's much shorter than that. 15,000 years? I don't think so. I think that's another way that they kind of wanted to just make it seem like it's not a problem, like it's nothing to worry about. When in in ancient writings, in writings even in the Bible and stuff like that, there's talks of something else. There's talks of eclipses and things that happen during full moon. You can't have an eclipse during a full moon, because if you know anything about the moon and its cycles, the only reason you can even see the moon is because of the light from the sun. So you can't have a full moon and then have an eclipse. It can't happen. But based on where the moon is at, and it has this lock to our planet, it doesn't spin around us. It just stays in one place. It's always there. So there are parts that can be taken as, well, hey, well, if there was an eclipse of the sun, but the moon didn't cause it, then what caused it? Like, if you look into these writings, it's like, how can there be an eclipse if the moon isn't there? Well, because maybe there's something else. Maybe there's something else out there, and that's not 15,000 years ago. It was happening every couple hundred years, stuff like that, here and there. So what I think happened. So they still think that Pluto is a planet, but they call it X. No. Pluto is its own thing. Planet X is like hundreds of it's hundreds of it's like millions of miles, not hundreds, millions of miles further out. At its peak of being far away from the sun, it's further out. So they still think Pluto is there. They still know Pluto is there. They don't think. But there's a different planet beyond that, called Planet X, or called Niburu. You might have heard of it referred to as Niburu. There's also another name, Nemesis, stuff like that. There's a whole bunch of different names for it, but it's pretty much a thing. Planet Gritty. They could do that. Call it Planet Gritty. I like it. I'd let them put my name on it, but maybe not. Maybe not after this theory. So, to break it down, I'm done explaining the planet itself, because I mean the science to it is kind of crazy, and plus it's not really the main idea. The main idea of my theory is that Planet X is supposed to have a bunch of little like meteors and things that follow it where it goes because of its gravity. So it's tugging these things around, and every time it comes by the Earth, we get meteor showers and stuff like that. But it hasn't come around lately, so we haven't seen it yet. But what I think is that this is just one of the theories. Okay, so just stick with me. If you don't agree with this theory, then you don't have to, because I don't even fully agree with this theory either. What I think is that the people, the scientists of the world, as soon as they discovered that this planet could exist, they started plugging it into their calculators and things like that, and they started figuring out that it's going to cause us problems. It's going to, it's already pulling on the Earth. It's already giving us different tidal shifts, different magnetic poles. It's giving us natural disasters, stuff like that, that are escalating. We've already had 400% more earthquakes in the last 20 years. In just the last 20 years, we've had 400% more earthquakes than we've had before. So there are things that are changing about our planet beyond Berenstein Bears and stuff like that. There are changes happening. So I think that scientists, they started plugging this theoretical planet into their calculators and making their calculations, and they figured out that this thing is going to come real close to Earth, like to the point where it's going to do some crazy things. It's gonna definitely take us back a few years, possibly take us back all the way to the beginning. When it comes to just throwing us off, making crazy weather patterns, tilting our axis, making it so that where our North Pole is right now is about to be west and stuff like that. Just really throwing us for a loop and making our planet just causing all kinds of havoc. Basically bringing the Armageddon, bringing it down. So they figured that this planet is actually orbiting in such a way that this time when it comes around, we're going to have a problem. I don't know this for a fact, but I'm just telling you, like, these things are lining up when it comes to like when they found out about this, what it's doing. Like it all seems to kind of line up. This is just one theory though. So So the scientists started to come up with an idea of how they could save us, save our planet, save our population. And in that hunt, they already had some technology that would allow them to kind of open up a little window into alternate dimensions, alternate realities. Because CERN, CERN, look it up. Their mission statement basically is to be able to open up doorways into other dimensions, see other worlds, see other things that you can't see from here. You can't do things you can't do if you don't have that understanding. And so I think that through their experiments, they've found ways to see different places, and they've scanned our galaxy to find a place that is like Earth, that is very much like Earth, but not Earth, because our Earth that we were on, or at least some of us that we were on before, it was in super danger because this planet X was coming around, and you know, once it comes around, it's going to be a problem. So they found a planet that looks like ours. It has the same land masses, pretty much. It has the same elements on it. It had some of the same people. Basically, it would be just like a mirror image of our planet, but it was further out in the galaxy, because, you know, technically, if you had the same elements, but you just had them in a different place, then there's a possibility that they could turn out the same way. That they could, you know, that life could still exist. That's why people think aliens exist, because they're like, dude, this can't be the only planet with life on it, based on the fact that there's so many stars out there, so many elements out there, so many planets that are orbiting stars. There's millions, billions of other stars and things out there. So that's why they think aliens exist, is because they're like, we can't be the only ones out here. It's too. I mean, there's life that's living on this planet that we can't even explain how it's alive. Like things living on volcanic vents below where there's no sunlight or anything. The temperatures are just deadly to anything on this Earth, but there are things still living down there. So we can't even understand our own planet. So we think, hey man, there's got to be other life out there. So I think CERN figured out that there is another planet out there that looks like Earth, has other beings on it that are you know, humanoid, that look like us and stuff like that. And so to save our population, because Planet X was coming, it's going to cause some trouble, they flipped the switch, turned it into overdrive. There are other colliders all over the Earth that are just like the one that CERN has, but some of them are smaller. I think they all simultaneously flipped the switch, and they sent our energy. They sent what they have locked onto as the human spirit, as our being, independent of our flesh, just like who you are, as like electrical impulses, or just impulses altogether, your energy, and sent it to that other Earth, because Planet X is coming, and they had to get us out of here. There was no other way. There was no other way for them to pack it up. So they flipped the switch, and now some of us we're waking up with like, whoa, what the heck? I don't remember it like this. I don't remember the continents looking this way. I don't remember feeling this way. I don't remember having 2 extra bones in my back. I don't remember there being Berenstain Bears. I don't remember any of this stuff. So there are people who are waking up on literally a different planet, but it looks and feels the same way in many regards. So it's okay. So it's just okay. Like, and you just got to deal with it. So I think that the world scientists got together, and they basically put us somewhere that's very comparable, but the stars look different. We're on a different arm of the galaxy. You know, things just are different. There are whole continents have shifted from where they used to be, and some humans aren't having any trouble with it at all, because I think some humans got here way before, or originally from here, and just they're not having any trouble with it. But there are some people who the flight, the journey from the old Earth to this Earth it wasn't as kind. Wasn't as kind to them. People like me, I can see differences in this planet. Like every day, I can see little ways that people act and things that are going on. And of course, if you're looking for them, you're going to see them easier. But I really think that is one plausible theory, that they flipped a switch and kind of sent our psyche, sent our energy to this version of Earth, because the old version of Earth is it's either fried, it's either bombarded with the fallout, the meteorites and things that follow Planet X, or it just threw us for a loop and tossed us out of our solar system or something. I just think there's something that happened on that other Earth, and that is just one theory. Trust me, there are many other theories. I just wanted to share this one because I think this one is kind of as grim as it can get, so that we can start there and kind of lighten it up. It's really the only one that I want to talk about today, though. But I think it's a great thing, because either way, I think it lines up with a lot of what people have been saying for thousands of years, that, hey, there's going to be a time of great tribulation coming. There's going to be some craziness that happens. However it's worded in whatever book that you're reading it, there's always something else. There's always some, maybe it's not even called reincarnation. Maybe it's not called any of that stuff. But there's an overall message, and that's what I've been trying to tell people, is there's an overall message to all these religions. There's an overall message to all of the thoughts and the things that people look forward to for leading a good life. And it always has to do with, well, don't worry, it's going to be a paradise. It's going to be different from where you're at, from where you lived most of your life, but it's going to be a paradise, and you're going to be lucky to be there, because there's going to be a lot of people who didn't make it. And now on this planet, there's only 7.4 billion people. And on the planet that I used to live on, there was 9 point something billion. So what I recall as the population of this Earth is different by almost 2 billion people. So I'm kind of like, I don't know. It kind of lines up. I'm not saying this is the master theory that, yes, that's what happened. Planet X came and they had to get us out of here. I'm saying that it's a possible theory of why CERN was so just, my goodness, so driven to dive deeper and deeper into understanding how to get to different dimensions, how to remotely view other places and stuff like that. I think it's a possible explanation why CERN and all the rest of these places, there are hadron colliders everywhere now. There's some in the United States, there's some in every place. They're all the countries in the world are starting to look into this technology, and there are hundreds of them now. Go ahead, look it up. So I think that possibly they all got together and decided, we got to get out of here, because we can't stop the planet. We can't blow up a planet. We don't have the resources to do that. We can't move our own planet. What can we do? What can we do to save ourselves? Well, let's research Mars. And then we sent rovers up there, and it was like, nah, man, it's going to take some years to terraform this place. We can't fly the entire human race to Mars. That's not going to work. And they're like, dang, what do we do, man? And then they started looking into it deeper and seeing that there's a way that we can exist in a different place if we find a place that is comparable, that wouldn't cause us too much trouble. But they couldn't tell us, because if they told us, then we'd just wreck this place anyway and be dead long before this thing came. Because we'd riot the streets. It'd just be Walking Dead without zombies. That's how it would be, man. Just be a bunch of people like fending for themselves and taking everything over and rioting and clearing out all the grocery stores, and that it would just be horrible. So the only way they can do anything about it is probably something like that. Frieza can blow it up. Frieza could probably blow it up, yes. If we could just enlist Frieza, he could help us. What notion do you have with spaceships? What do you mean? Spaceships? Like, what do I think about aliens? I think aliens have been visiting us for a long time, trying to tell us. In this theory, trust me, there's several different theories. Okay, this is the theory I'm checked into right now to explain to people. And it's not the only theory. It's probably not even right. It's just one of them. And I think if we put the theories out there enough, we can start to put something together. But if nobody ever says it, then people can't start basing their works on it, people can't start taking pieces of it and being like, well, that makes sense. What Gritty said kind of makes sense, but I don't agree with this, this, and this. Then that's fine. That's totally fine. But if I never say it, then they have nothing to base it on. They never get inspired, and then we never find an answer. In this particular theory, because I have thought about aliens when it comes to this theory, I think aliens are the entire reason that we even got the technology in the first place to save ourselves, to bring ourselves over here. And I mean, there's like a religious way to look at it where it's like, yeah, we were inspired by angels who brought us some technology that would save us. There was a message from them, and they didn't want us to die out, and it was the word of God and all that stuff. You can think about it any kind of way like that, but overall, just from a very non-religious standpoint, I think aliens came here to study us, to see if they could preserve us somehow, because it's kind of like it's like a wildlife refuge, where we know that panda bears are close to dying out on our planet. So what do? We create a refuge for them. We create a place where it's safe, where they can't be hunted, where they can replenish their numbers and start to prosper again, to where we don't have to feel bad that we killed them. I think aliens are here to study us, to see if there's any way that they can take a sample of our society and make it so that we don't die out or we don't become extinct just because we're not ready to save ourselves. So in this particular instance, I think the reason that aliens have been coming around for so many years is basically they've mapped out our solar system. They know about Planet X, and they know what's about to happen. They know it's about to come here and crush us. So they knew it was coming. So they started coming here to get samples of our society, to see if there's anything that they could give us that would help us. And I think they did. I think they gave us a tool to help us. In this particular theory, I think they gave us the ability to accelerate atoms, and they gave us the microwave and all that stuff. They gave us technology enough to accelerate our society, because if you notice, we were like, if you look at like our ability to do things, we were super lowbrow for a long time. We could like carve stone and hunt animals, and then all of a sudden there was like this, we invented the wheel. Oh, all of a sudden we got everything. Oh, microwaves. Oh, Wi-Fi. Oh my God, we have probes on Mars. Oh my goodness, now we can accelerate particles to over light speed and look into other dimensions. Like, I think that they helped us out because they saw Planet X was about to do something, and they're like, yeah, we got to help these people out, man. So I think in this particular situation that if aliens had anything to do with it, that's if aliens even exist. I'm not saying they do, but in this particular situation, if aliens had anything to do with it, I think they're the only reason we were able to save ourselves, because they didn't want to see something as brilliant, something as awesome. Because, I mean, when you look at the panda bear, it will kill you, possibly, but you see something beautiful. You see something that you don't want it to be the last time you see it. You don't want it to be, you don't want it to die out. You want to save it. Things like that. You want to save these species, even if they're a species that has nothing to do with where you live. As a being that respects life, you don't want to see it die out, especially if there's something you can do about it by just like putting up a fence. Then you just put up a fence, So I think that if aliens exist and they've been here, I think they've been here to try to help preserve us. Because if they wanted to take us out, they'd already done it. It'd be over. They'd already have done it. A single nuke can't destroy a planet, dude. I know. Trust me. I know. And we wouldn't be able to destroy it anyway, because we don't even know what it's made of. It might be a gas giant. What happens if you shoot a nuke into a gas giant? It'll just, what's going to happen? Burn up in the atmosphere or something. Like, there's nothing that we can do. I think that it's just, in this particular theory, I think that we just had no other choice. And if that's what happened, then great. That's just one theory, though. I have like, there's one theory that's kind of two at the same time, so I don't know if I should even count that as two, but I'd say I have like 4 theories. Even if that one counts as 2, 4 theories if that one counts as 2. I have 3 theories if it counts as 1. So aliens are helping us out by giving us microwaves. No, but I just think that they're helping our society understand, because if you don't know, they recently and they're starting to put this into production. They recently figured out that microwave technology could help us to have a limitless and faster than light speed travel across this universe. Just microwave technology. Just focusing microwave technology into a chamber could allow us enough thrust and enough over time energy to travel faster than the speed of light. Just microwave technology. So yes, but you got to start somewhere. It's like the Mr. Rogers thing I was talking about, man, where it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood in the earth that I'm from, and now here it's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. If people can't get past the fact that some people literally only saw it as the, and some people only saw it as this, if they can't like come together, like you need a basis of speaking. You need a place to start at, and so they gave us certain technologies because they knew how that research into that technology could benefit our society. So it might seem small at first, but it's the building block. It's the basis. It's just like the wheel. It's just like the wheel was invented, and now look at what we got. You know, it all starts somewhere, and I think we were just lagging, dude. I think we had a couple thousand years where we just weren't doing much, and they were like, come on, man, you guys got to move it along a little bit. You guys gotta move it on. So yeah, and look it up, because I'm not making this up. Microwave technology is actually going to allow us to travel at faster than the speed of light, and also to be a replenishable energy source that will just keep us going. So yeah, it's a building block. It starts out looking rudimentary because you can just cook a TV dinner with it, but now they're finding out that, hey, this could actually get us places. This can actually get us places. This can do things that we couldn't do with conventional nuclear power or rocket fuel or any of that stuff. None of that stuff. It basically, the microwave just trumped everything we just knew about rocket propulsion and technology when it comes to getting to other places. Microwave. Let alone all the other technology that we're just now starting to understand what it can do. So who knows, man? But that's just this one theory. The theory that Planet X was posing too big of a threat to humankind, and that scientists knew about it, so they did something about it, something drastic. And now with CERN and the rest of this, they're trying to find ways to correct history, because on this planet, the trek, the putting us here, actually made things a little different. I think most of it was already the same. I think there were human beings who were here before, because, like I said, it's very similar. But I think there's more to it. I think there's more to it. And microwaves are the best. So yeah, that's this particular theory. There are more to come. There are more to come. But you got to start somewhere. So I hope people will base some work off of this. I hope that people will research some of this, see that I'm not lying, see that this is an actual CBS broadcast, see that I'm not lying about microwave technology. I'm not lying about CERN, their mission statement to open up doorways to different realities, to peer through the veil between between everything, trying to figure that stuff out. And I hope that you'll understand that as this goes on, there's some of this stuff that's going to sound super evil, because I think some of it is super evil, but this also the things that I found out can explain some of the supernatural stuff that we're always concerned about, that people make movies about, like ghosts and all that. There's just infinite ramifications, and it just makes a lot of sense to me in a lot of ways. So stay tuned. Thank you guys very much for checking this out. I'm going to move on to some try not to laugh challenges. Try not to laugh or grin. So I'm going to play some really funny videos on the screen, and I'm going to try not to laugh. And I think I can do it. I survived one before. I survived one. There's one thing I can't survive, and that's the freaking Ascensions intro. I can't do it. I'm going to try it, though. I'm going to try it. that's going to be my warm-up. I'm going to try to survive the Ascensions intro. So seriously, thank you guys so much. It means a lot to me that you guys hang out and stop by, even if it's not your cup of tea. It's awesome. And I've always told people that if you don't like it, or if it doesn't make sense to you, or if it's just making you like, woo, you know, oh, this is crazy, then you can leave. You don't have to be in here, and I'm not going to see you as less of a part of Team Gritty or anything like that. But it matters to me. And if I don't talk about it, if I don't do all this, I'm seeing the results, guys. I'm seeing, like I said, almost 2,000 people have watched the last video that I made, and great stories, great comments, great just thankfulness, gratefulness that I'm getting from the freaking internet of all places. I'm getting all this thankfulness, people telling me, "Hey, man, I love your presentation. I love how you keep a bit of comedy in it. I love how you you seem genuine about what you're doing. I love your approach. Thank you very much. I thought I was alone in this, man. And there's a tree that I saw. There's a tree that I used to climb every day, and it doesn't exist anymore. And the hotel I used to stay in, it's different name now, and it's never been named anything else. I learned how to swim here, and that doesn't even exist anymore. Like, there are people out there who literally have been experiencing these things, and they want a place to go to. They want some people to be like, hey, me too, you know, and I'm not lying when I say it, and they can tell. And I think that's awesome, man. If I can help people out, I can entertain people, and also at the same time open some eyes, or help some people to form their own opinions, and we can get, you know, a little closer to the truth about all this stuff, or just have a positive time with it, then I feel like I've done something awesome, you know. And why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I do it at that point, you know? So, and I'd be fake if I did. If all I did was sit here and play chess all day, I'd be fake, because I know on my mind, I'm thinking about it. I know it matters to me. So we get an A+ in class, Mr. Gritty. Yeah, Ascension. Yeah, the Ascension thing, I'm telling you. Yeah, you guys got an A. Because you're still... We all got an A because we made it out alive, dude. Planet X is about to take us out, and we're good. That's just this theory, though, guys. Who knows? Maybe nothing happened. Maybe nothing happened at all. Maybe just, I don't know. So thank you guys very much. I'm not ending the broadcast, but it's just I'm just gonna have to switch over the stream title and all that stuff. So they could have just cut it down. You know, milk, cereal, in the microwave. Those are great inventions, man. Great inventions. Oh, I might have to end it. Actually, I do have to end it. All right, I have to end the broadcast, but I'm gonna be right back, guys. I'll see you in just a moment.